Hans, hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, so I am excited today to do a testimonial call with Hans Elmegaard, who is CEO of Moddule. So Hans, thank you for agreeing to do this today, and would love to know, first of all, why you wanted to do coaching within Moddule.
Well, that was actually, thanks, Sarah, for asking the question, and there has been multiple reasons for doing that. But the short version is that we are a smaller technology company, and we were going through some quite big changes at that time, where you and I were starting connecting to each other, and I believe that's approximately a year ago, before when we starting the first introduction to each other. And we were going all from changes in the business model, even our name change. We were getting some new investors on board. We had new people coming in, and in a nutshell, it was something I saw as a need of having a pillar, a coach connected to the founder team, to help us steering through these changes, or this period of changes we were going through. And it was really because that in changing times, right, it's so easy to slip away from, I'll say, prioritizing our company values, which actually was pretty well ingrained in the business. And on that note, there was something I felt there was a next need for, to get some external support and a professional like yourself to help us doing that. That was, in a nutshell, the reason why I started.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. It's common that during a period of transition that companies often want that external third-party objective view to help navigate through those changes. And I'd love to know what you liked most about working with me. And I say liked because we're still we're still in the process of working together, but let's hear what you like most about working with me.
Yeah, and there's many reasons for that, aside from you being a very nice person, then and having patience with us. But I, in particular, have been positively surprised about how you've been helping us getting, I'll say, addressing the elephant in the room, and our supporters, not only having the inspiring conversation, but also the needed discussions, which sometimes has been difficult. With the whole purpose of making our business more effective and increase collaboration across important decisions we need to make. So that has been, that has been a really fantastic support, having you there to help us facilitating these things and be able to flip the coin and looking at ourselves in different ways, both from a weakness and strength perspectives as well. So.
And to pick up on one of the things you said, addressing the elephant in the room, having those uncomfortable conversations that need to be had, which people tend to put off because they're, often afraid of the result or afraid of confrontation or whatever the reason is. But these things need to be brought out into the open so that you can move forward from them.
That's right. Yeah.
And what did you learn about yourself and the team in general during this experience?
When we were at that stage where we got introduced to you, Sarah, and start working with you, I think we all have the best intentions. But our communication or our need to try to show to show strength, there was a high need for individual performance. And because it's a team coming with various backgrounds and also experienced in different ways. But really what it's, it was an interesting learning, and I'm not only talking for myself, but also the rest of the team, is that it was actually realizing we all want the same. We want the best, we want the success for Moddule and be working in harmony. And where everything really was boiled down to the how we communicated has been a roadblock. Not because we were not agreed on, but it's just the way we approach situations very differently. Despite we all of us have kind of have the ambitions of being successful together. We are a remote team, and I think there's an important part also having you engaged in this, because there are just certain things you cannot do so easily when we are a team located from places in Asia. We have people sitting in Lisbon and Amsterdam and London and Copenhagen and in the US and Canada, where I'm based myself. And there's certain things you have to deal with a different way, and which require additional attention to certain things. In particular, it comes to the communication and make decisions together when you're working across time zones, etc. So, but that was definitely a big learning for myself, and how that cannot be underestimated. That the how versus the what.
Yeah, and you know, it can be difficult working across all those time zones and working remotely, because you don't have as many opportunities for communication unless you create them. And you know, whilst you might all be moving in the same direction, things can get lost if you don't communicate them properly or well enough. And you know, that's when misalignments can start to occur.
Absolutely. You know, the structure, the way it is super important, how we consistently are communicating in a way we have the right, I'll say, a consistent way of, you know, progressing. We do have the luxury to be together for every quarter as a team, a larger team. Of course, we also traveling, visiting each other when they need to show stuff. But the whole DNA, I'll say, of the business is that we want to be able to do this, but we're representing a global product. So being able to be remote, that's certainly advantages by doing that. But some of the stuff we're just sitting talking about here, that's one of the stuff where it's been fantastic to have your help, because that's one of the things that's been a bit more difficult.
So onto some of the tangible results and changes that you've experienced while working with me. I'll set a number around this because, as you know, Hans, I like setting numbers. So anywhere between 1 to 3 things that you'd like to mention.
There's been many, and I'll say let me take 2 in particular. After working with you for the last, I think we first started really digging into this for around 7 months ago. We were, you know, we're not as a good place in terms of our living our values because of change. And I think this is exactly what we are right now. We as a team are a very good place, I feel, where the values are being lived. And that's much better clarity of what we are and who we are as a company and how we're contributing well or not well to the business. The role we're playing, and most of all, the common goal we want to achieve together. So the level of clarity, we also be much better to, I'll say, support each other, asking for help as well when you are together as a team, and that's both all from engineers to tech persons or subject matter experts in the supply chain industry, etc. You are having a lot of opinions, and sometimes the fact about asking for help is sometimes most difficult, despite it should be the most easiest part. So that has been a massive, massive help for us, among others. So clarity in generally of where we're going, where we're coming from, and how we're going to achieve those goals are, in a nutshell, really where I'm looking at it right now. And I'm just coming out from an outside. We had the team together on the southern tip of Sweden, where there was this feeling that everybody left 3 very productive days with that kind of right mindset. You know exactly where we need to go to make this successful and create value for all clients.
Yes. Just to cover off.
I don't know if that was 1 or there was 2 or there was 3. That was a little bit of a mix terms of answering there.
Sorry?
I don't know if I answered that with 1 answer of that question with 1 answer or 2 or 3, but they kind of are interconnected to each other. So
no, I think that covered the question. Thank you. And just to mention the offsite in Sweden, you know, when I saw you at the end of, or saw the team at the end of that session, that series of sessions you had together, you did seem very aligned, very focused, perhaps more so than I've ever seen before, actually. which was great.
You're right about that. I think that's count for all the other guys too. So, yeah.
Awesome. So in terms of intangible results, which I think you kind of touched on anyway, because you referred to changes in mindset, but by intangible, I mean sort of changes in behavior, changes in mindset, changes in levels of people's happiness even. Could you pick out maybe a couple of things around that?
With a very high moral. And there's just the high levels of interest in supporting each other being successful. So it's less about individual performance. It's us being successful together. That is definitely that mindset, the behavior, its drive, a very positive atmosphere in our. And to me, it means a lot also from a personal level. It's inspiring me. We can celebrate each other's success, us being successful together, and then just our individual performance. And we are actually having a high performing team around that because of that. So there's this mindset, to refer to that, of the behavior, is that we're in this together, and we can count on each other. That is something I feel this is a very, very positive thing, and a result of your contribution among others. Because I have been working in other working environments before, where some of that stuff has been a challenge for success, where that was not the case. So that is really it's nice to be together with a team who all have the best interest in supporting each other, but while still being very, I'll say, goal oriented of being successful as a business.
Yes, and to use that oft overused cliche, there is no I in team.
That's right.
Okay, so to wrap up, anything else important that you feel people should know about me?
I mean, I think, I can be a little bit stubborn, and I think you maybe also have got to know me as that person. If I want to do the last 6 months, that is, if I'm fighting quite hard for something, if I really believe in it, and I would definitely, I'll say, recommend anyone, any companies who's talking, whether a big corporation or a small tech company like ours, that having a person, like a professional like you, as a good colleague and an indirect employee, with an objective view, like to steer people back, on the same place, in a professional manner you have, cannot be underestimated. It's been very important for us that, when you're running a small company and we reaching for the stars, but they're quite far down the road, you sometimes tendency to, because you have so much focus on the short-term success, that the value or long-term having investments or having support from a person like yourself, and now of course up for you, has been a massive help for us, and that is just something that's definitely recommendation to bring on any companies, whether they're big or they're small, that they cannot be underestimated, the how and the support you can provide from that perspective. So that's been very much helpful.
Thank you, Hans. It's been my absolute pleasure to work with you and the team, and to continue working with you.